Today I'm sharing with you the middle class money traps that are keeping you broke, so you can know what those traps are and actually get out of them and become a millionaire or become as rich as you want to become. I am Tiffany Thomas with WealthyTiffany.com, and I achieved financial freedom and became a millionaire. If you're looking to do one or both of those things, make sure and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and we're going to dive right in. All right, first off, let's talk a little bit about what the middle class is. So if you're in the middle class, usually you're living pretty comfortably and you have some nice luxuries and you know where your next meal is coming from. You're not struggling, but you're living a pretty comfortable lifestyle. But here's the thing, it could be a lot more comfortable, and you could also have a lot less stress around money. So the first money trap we are going to talk about is not thinking long term, not having a vision or a plan for yourself. It's more about living day to day and just kind of going through the motions, going through the grind. You go to work, you come home, you veg out, watch TV, and then you get up the next morning, you go to work, you come home, you're tired, you veg out and watch TV, and you just continue to repeat the cycle over and over. And you aren't really working towards some type of long-term plan. So you really want to think about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Are you working toward that? The second money trap is eating out too much. And I recently did a video about how much I spend on food, and I spend about $100 a month. So if you want help with spending less on food, then make sure and check out that video. Money trap number 3 is leisure spending. So it's going to soccer games or going to the movies or going to plays, just spending money wherever, doing leisure activities, but not really being conscious about what really matters most to you and spending your money there and cutting back on the rest. And money trap number 4 is having too much money in the bank. You have too much money sitting in your savings account. And I was guilty of this before I really started investing. I was investing a little bit in a 401k, but I had a ton of money sitting in the bank, and I wish I wouldn't have done that. I could have been so much further along financially if I did not have a huge savings account. And I'm not talking about getting rid of your emergency fund. Definitely have an emergency fund, but once you have met that amount that you want in your emergency fund, you need to invest the rest of that money. You will always stay in the middle class if you do not invest your money. And if you need help with that, check out this video right here. I'll leave a link above and below. And then money trap number 5 is having kind of the opposite. Having money sitting in your checking account, but realizing it's in there and then spending all of your money. You really want to make sure that you do have that emergency fund, and I like keeping mine at a separate bank account. I personally like using Ally. They have a high interest rate, so I transfer all of my money that would be an emergency fund into Ally. And that way it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And then money trap number 6, this kind of goes along with number 5, but it is not paying yourself first. So you are just completely spending all of your money, paying all of your bills, and then realizing, oh, I don't have any money left over for myself to build up a savings or an emergency fund. So make sure you are paying yourself first. And I like paying my tithing and myself very first. I feel like those two things have had a really big impact on my financial success. Number 7 is fearing good debt. I remember talking to a friend a few years ago actually, and she owned her own home, and she knew that I had multiple properties, and she kept telling me, I think I would be too nervous to have multiple mortgages, have so much debt hanging over my head. But in my mind, I'm thinking that is good debt. I have rental properties. I'm creating cash flow every single month from those properties, and the properties are also appreciating over time. And now I have paid off 2 of my mortgages, so I just have 1 mortgage left, but I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not invested my money. So it's not all about just staying out of debt. It's about staying out of bad debt, which we'll talk about in just a second. But you can have good debt that is going to make you more money. And money trap number 8 is keeping bad debt. So for example, if you have a lot of credit card debt and you're slowly paying that off over time, you are keeping a lot of bad debt, and you will continue to pay on that debt over the years because credit cards usually have high interest rates. So you are paying way more than you originally planned for that purchase you made on your credit cards. You really want to pay off any high interest debt as soon as possible. That way you can free up some money to invest it. And if you're wondering if you should pay off debt or invest, I have a video I created for you. I will leave a link above and below. And then money trap number 9 is spending your money on liabilities instead of assets. You are buying things that you are having to pay for and they are not making you any money. If you continue to buy your liabilities first before your assets, you will stay in the middle class. You need to be accumulating assets, things that are going to make you money, and then you can pay for your liabilities, things that won't make you money, with those assets. And then money trap number 10 is paying too much for insurance. For example, if you have really low deductibles, you're going to be paying more for your insurance. I like to keep my deductibles higher because the chance of something going wrong and me paying the deductible is very low. And yes, it does happen. So make sure you do have whatever amount you choose for your deductible. But that way you are paying less for your insurance over time. And going along with that, you can definitely call your insurance. This could be your car insurance or auto, home insurance, whatever it might be. But you can call them every single year and see if you can get a better rate, or call someone else and see if they offer a better rate and then switch over to a different provider. And this also goes along with other bills that you might have. Don't just continue to pay increased prices every single year. See what the competitors are offering and switch your provider so that you are not paying so much in all of these expenses. And then money trap number 11 is only having one source of income. For example, if you only have a 9-to-5 job, if that is the only way you are making money, that can be really scary if you lose your 9-to-5 job. So you want to have some other type of income. And I give a lot of examples in a video that I created for you. I'll leave a link above and below. And I'm sure I'm not going to hit all of the middle class money traps. So comment below and tell me one middle class money trap that you are aware of. And number 12 for the middle class money trap is watching too much TV. And I don't know the exact saying, but it's something like the poor people have the biggest TVs and the rich people have the biggest libraries. If you are constantly spending time watching TV and it's not something that you are actually learning about, like a documentary, if you're just mindlessly watching TV, that is not very productive. So I would say switch over and read a book or listen to a book. Or find a podcast that you really like. I like listening to the Choose FI Financial Independence podcast. There are so many more productive ways to spend your time. And honestly, I feel like this is one way that I've been able to learn so much over the years is because I hardly ever watch TV. I would much rather read a book. And when I do read a book, it is usually some self-improvement or self-development book. So I'm always learning something. And then number 13 is always saying yes to instant gratification. We are all about getting it now. I want it overnight, deliver it tomorrow, whatever it is, we want it instantly. And that is just creating a really bad cycle because then we want everything else in our lives instantly. And that's not how things work. So really try to delay that gratification. Really think about things in the long term, like we mentioned before. That way you aren't just instantly spending all of the money that you have and realizing, oh, I don't even like the stuff that I bought with my money. And then having to get rid of it later or organize it later or clean it out later. Going along with this, money trap number 14 is not knowing when enough is enough. We constantly accumulate more things, more stuff, and we just don't know when to stop. We look at our neighbors or we try to keep up with the Joneses and think, oh, they bought a new car this year. I should buy a new car, but our car is perfectly fine. We don't need to be buying a new car every 5 years and then having a new car loan every single year and then never paying off a car and always having a car payment. We don't need all of the latest technology. Our older phones work just fine. And I know that I have been guilty of this definitely in the past. I bought way too many clothes. I just kept thinking, oh yeah, I could use a new skirt. Oh, another skirt? Oh, another pair of shoes? Sure, I'll buy it all. And then honestly, later I'm thinking, whoa, I have way too many clothes, way too many shoes, and then I need to get rid of it. So just realize when enough is enough. We don't need to always be spending our money. And then number 15 is having a scarcity mindset. And this is really a big one. This entails thinking that we can never make more money Or if someone else makes more money, then we have to make less money, that there's not enough to go around. And that is not the case at all. There is plenty of money to go around. We can all make more money. We can all increase our incomes. Realize that you can change that we don't have to be living with this scarcity mindset. We can always improve. And then number 16, and this kind of goes along with other ones, but you don't actually have to spend money to have fun. There are lots of free things you can do that are really fun. I love going for walks. I go for walks in my neighborhood around the park, and I also go hiking. That's free as well. And you could even buy a Frisbee for, I don't know, a couple of dollars and go play Frisbee at the park. And I also like to spend time in my backyard. I have some cute Edison lights out there, and I just love sitting outside. And you can even have your friends over to your place to watch a movie. You don't have to go out to a movie. And you can even find different service opportunities. And that way you are helping someone else and you are feeling good as well. And you can have fun while you are serving. And you don't have to go out to dinner all of the time with your friends. You could do a potluck at your place. I have a group of friends. We'll get together on Sundays after church and we'll all just bring food and we will study the scriptures and then we'll have a little potluck dinner after. And then number 17 is focusing on consuming instead of creating or learning. And I kind of mentioned this before, but if we are just constantly consuming content or even consuming things all of the time and not really creating or learning something new, we will definitely stay middle class. We don't just have to be taking in everything and consuming. We can create ourselves, or we can even learn something new and share that with someone else. And money trap number 18 is not realizing that time is money. If we are working all of the time, we don't have time to think for ourselves and come up with other ways that we could be making money. So we could pay someone to do some sort of task. Maybe we could have someone come in and clean our homes, and we can be doing something else that is more productive for us. And even if you have maybe your own business, you could make more in that hour that they would be cleaning your home than you would be paying them. Realizing that what you're spending your time on can turn into money. Another example, if we are spending hours clipping coupons and saving $5, we could spend hours learning to invest our money and make thousands of dollars. So really be careful what you are spending your time on. Number 19 for the middle class money trap is thinking playing it safe is a good idea. And while we do want to play it safe with some things in regards to money, we can really take some risk, and it doesn't have to be a huge risk. It can be a very calculated risk and make more money that way. If we are just putting our money in our savings account, we will not create massive amounts of wealth that way, nor will we be able to retire or become financially free. We need to take some sort of risk to increase our wealth. And especially if you are younger, you have more time on your side, so you can definitely be a little more risky. And I'm not saying go into an investment blindly. You want to do your homework. That's what I did with real estate, right? I looked at all of the numbers and I broke them down and I thought, okay, yes, I know this is risky. Maybe I won't have my property filled the entire time, but nonetheless, the numbers work and I feel good about purchasing this property. So I'm willing to take that risk. And believe me, I am glad I did. Middle class money trap number 20 is teaching our kids that saving is the most important thing. While it is important to save, investing is what will make the biggest difference. That is what is going to grow our wealth. So while you can teach your kids to save money for a rainy day, teach them how to make money. Have them create their own small business. And then teach them about investing, how to make that money work for them. The younger we can do this, the better off our children are going to be. Money trap number 21 is thinking that being comfortable is enough. We're comfortable in our lifestyles. Why change anything? Because we could be so much more. We could have so much more and not accumulate more stuff, but just grow that wealth. When we are increasing our wealth, we are able to serve more. We're able to help more people. It's not about just accumulating wealth for ourselves and hoarding all of our money, but we can really make a big difference in other people's lives. And when we have more money, we are able to do that a lot easier, because when we are strapped for cash, that is what is constantly on our minds. We aren't able to free up the mind space and think, how can I help other people? How can I serve someone else? And even when we are thinking those things and we don't have the money to do it, we aren't actually able to help in that regard. So get out of your comfort zone, figure out how you could increase your income a little bit. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm not all about the money, Good. When you increase that income, give it to your favorite charity or help your neighbor that's in need. Number 22 is not realizing that money is just a tool. It is a resource for us. We're the ones that attach emotion to money. And when we think, oh, if I want a lot of money, then I'm an evil person. That's not the case at all. Like we just talked about, when we have more money, we are able to serve more people. And then middle class money trap number 23 is caring more about what others think about us. And this is a big one, especially with social media and everyone posting how perfect their lives are and how perfect their vacations are. We don't have to care what other people think. We don't have to have the fanciest car or the newest house. We can live our lives the way we want to be living our lives. So be happy with who you are and where you are. And don't spend money on things that are just going to impress people that you don't even like. I know that can be really hard to stop caring about what others think, but once we do that, we are going to be a lot more comfortable in our own skin, and we can realize what our true priorities are and what is going to really bring us happiness. All right, tell me in the comments one money trap that you are getting out of today. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information, and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more content from me, check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.